Hicker's Boy here, and this is Tabletop Talk, a new series where I plan on sharing experiences, advice, and just a bit of fun dealing with tabletop games and role-playing in general. For now, I'll primarily be focusing on games like D&D and Pathfinder, but these lessons can be taken for just about everything. We'll get into stuff like White Wolf, we'll get into stuff like All Flesh Must Be Eaten, and just games in general. So, for those new to the channel, hello. This is something new that I'm trying out, but something I've been thinking about for quite a while. And for our first time, we'll be starting with things like character creation. Alright, now when I say character creation, I mean that creation of the character, not just the numbers on the page, not just your stat blocks, the down and dirty importance of who and what you are. Now, when you're looking at the numbers, those can be confusing sometimes, especially if, as some of you may be, new. Now, generally, those are guidelines. They're guidelines, but it is something which can also be used to help influence things you might not know about yourself. Now, if you're going to be rolling out stats, you're going to be sometimes afraid of the low numbers. Now, don't be. Those low numbers, the little flaws in your character, are some of the things which can help influence who and how you roleplay a character. Now, in general, most of these games, 10 is going to be a baseline. It's going to be pretty hard to roll underneath it, and most of the times if you roll too far below, your DM is going to let you get some kind of reroll. But don't be afraid to have a stat around that situation. So yeah, 10's baseline. 10 is what normally you as a person are going to be in something. Now, as adventurers, you're going to be superhuman. The entire reason you're adventuring is because you are too big for this little lifestyle or whatever it is you're doing. So, someone who has a 17 intelligence in something, you are too smart for whatever school, you're too smart for whatever job that you were doing. So I will always say roleplay that into your character. The inquisitive nature. Roleplay the encyclopedic knowledge that you would have in your brain at all times, forcing you to blurt out something. Now that's also getting into some of the other stats and how those influence each other, such as charisma. Charisma is one of those things where people think is just about looks. No, charisma is force of personality. You can be the ugliest looking character imaginable, but if you have a high charisma, then people are transfixed by your words, transfixed by the way you carry yourself. Now, someone with a low physical stats, like strength or constitution or dexterity, you might be clumsier, or you might be anemic or prone to illnesses. Now, those things don't have to affect you as mechanically. They are going to come into effect sometimes with role-playing or trying to avoid curses or trying to avoid poisons, but it is the little day-to-day things with the character that are really where that'll come into play and really should pull you into this character's trials. One thing I always recommend to a lot of people that I play with or the people that I DM is to roll up your stats first. Come up with a character after. Get these stats, because your roleplay should be based around what these numbers are kind of influencing. Because if you want to play this big badass Conan style character, but you don't have the stats for it, that's just going to come off a bit wonky. Now, I understand sometimes you want to be that, but sometimes being forced to work around different things will draw you out of your own head. What I'm basically trying to get across is don't worry about min-maxing stats. A lot of the enjoyment of starting off with a character is delving into who they are as a person. So I would just recommend you go out, think, find out who these people are, find out what people liked about them, what they didn't like about them, and then let that character just form in your head and on the page. Okay, this is just our little start, and hopefully we're going to be doing some more of this. I'm planning on churning these out quite a bit as more thoughts come into my head, so join me on this journey and we'll see how far this goes. Well, this is Kekis Boy signing out from Tabletop Talk. For those of you new here, give me a like, subscribe, or give me a dislike if you want. Just anything to help motivate me and just convince me that you want to hear more of this stuff. I'm trying to delve more into my opinions and my thoughts on role-playing and tabletop in general, as well as just expand this channel. There's lots of stuff that I have strong feelings about, and you have strong feelings about. We can go on these journeys together. For now, farewell.